I'm Jacob Courtwright, and this is The Locker Room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fantastic guest today, Mr. Patrick Dees. He is the co-founder and the gaming officer for the Fan Controlled Football League. I'm telling you guys, I've already talked about this on the show. You know how excited I am. Patrick, welcome in. Glad to have you here, man.
And thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Now, I know you have a lot going on. As you guys can see in the background, he is there. He is in the stadium. He is doing testing. Look at that. I mean,
I'll pick this up a little bit so you can see it. Yeah, we're live here.
It looks
the Energy Arena here in just outside of Atlanta.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I mean, it already looks great, let alone wait till the action actually starts on February 13th. And we'll get to how you can be a part of it, because I know a lot of you have hit me up. Like, I've been involved in this. I haven't. I'm going to learn just as much as you have, or as you are on the show as well. But let's go ahead and get started. I want to know how you got involved. How did you get into this? I know that you're a co-founder. So is this your baby? Have you been thinking about this? I want to know.
Yeah, so I am co-founder. So from the beginning, and it started, there are four co-founders, but like where it started for me was I've always been a part of venture-backed startups, and we had a startup where we had built kind of the Kelly Blue Book of cell phones, right? So determined what phones' value was in secondary markets all over the world, and we built it to have an exit, and we knew that an exit was coming. And so through my course of the time there, my partner and our CEO, Saurabh Farudi, we knew we made a great team and kind of had offsetting skill sets, but really similar. We were really good friends, trying to figure out what was the next thing we were going to do. And he kept saying, well, dude, I'm just going to buy the Cowboys, which is ridiculous because clearly, like, A, the exit wasn't going to be that big, and B, like, Jerry Jones is going to outlive all of us.
Exactly.
So like, I was in my mid-20s, but like, I'm guaranteed Jerry Jones is going to live longer than me. So we tried to figure out what is that next thing. And if it's not the Cowboys, what can we do? We're technology guys. We want to bring new technology to it. And for me, I'm the gamer of the bunch. I'm the chief gaming officer here. It's because I'm a gamer at core, right? I grew up and actually learned the rules of football through playing Madden. My dad, amazing father, but I didn't have that experience that a lot of people do where they like learn the sport by hanging out with their father, their mother. It was, I learned by playing Madden, and then we would watch the NFL on Sunday, and my dad would sit there, pretend to give a shit about what was happening on the screen. And I'd be like, oh, it's a 4-3 defense. And he'd be like, cool. He just wanted to spend time with his son. But for me, it was that real-time play calling has always been part of my football experience. And so obviously a huge sports fan, a huge video game guy. And like, really this came from the desire to merge those two things, that like we have an opportunity to really rethink sports for the digital age. And that's where this started happening. I tell you, we went from there, and we had a team in the AFL for a little bit with Vince Neil, learned how broken the model was. And then we had a proof of concept team in the IFL, the indoor football league.
Yeah.
So we approached them. We picked up two other co-founders, Grant Cohen, who's had a bunch of like exits, and Ray Austin, who was drafted by the Jets, spent 6 years with Chicago.
Wow.
Monster DB, just talented dude. He's an actor, model, talented dude. And we bought this team in the IFL, the Indoor Football League, and we pitched the commissioner there, who was like 35 at the time. I think he looked like he was 14. So he like understood technology, and he's like, yeah, this sounds like a great thing. We like you as an ownership group. You're crazy, but go ahead and try it. And so then we took a look at their geographic footprint of the league and said, hey, where can we fit? So we went to 5 or 6 different cities, and then we had a vote, and hundreds and thousands of people showed up and voted on where we should play. It ended up being between Salt Lake and Oklahoma City. We ended up playing in Salt Lake. So then we flew to Salt Lake, and then next up was the team name vote, and said, hey, like, again, fans are going to control everything. This is their team. So they get to brand it and do all that stuff outside of make personnel decisions and call plays. They need to own the team. So we, looked down the barrel of a camera, and this is right about that Bodie McBoat FaceTime. And I said, hey, look, if you name us Team McTeamface, that's what we're going to be called. And so immediately there was a bunch of team names. We were votes for Team McTeamface. We were almost named, and in Utah, it's super appropriate. We were almost named the Storm and Mormons, but we ended up being called the Salt Lake Screaming Eagles. And then you fast forward a little bit, because it was a military base right outside of Salt Lake. But you fast forward a little bit, we let fans run this team. They chose our coaches. We live streamed our coaches. They hired our coaches. They chose our cheerleaders. They chose the logo, the mascot, the color scheme, the uniforms, all of it. And then we played a season. It was the first team that was, entirely powered by the fans. So, fans called plays. Our thesis was if we put fans in a position to be successful, they will be.
Yeah.
Because, football, this sport right now is the football IQ is higher than it's ever been. With the advent of mobile
Oh yeah.
or Madden, and fantasy, people know so much about the game. And so we thought, look, let's put this in the hands of fans and really redefine what it means to be a fan. And so it worked. So then we took a step back and said, there's a bigger opportunity and saying, let's not go convert traditional football. This is a whole new model and rethink football for the digital age. So literally, if you were inventing football today, what would it look like, right? It would be a lean forward experience. You'd be engaged. You'd have some participation. Games would be an hour long, right? Because people got ingest content that way. They don't have time 3.5 hours. There'd be no kicking. Like nobody goes, fuck yeah, like a kicker's here. Like nobody said that ever. So we removed kicking. And so when we thought through it, it was like, hey, there's a lot of ways that we can do it. And football is a global sport. So we didn't want to tie these teams to a geography. What we wanted to say, I was always been inspired by Mark Cuban and how the Mavs are just this extension of his personality.
Yeah.
And so we said, hey, look, we put up a murderer's row on a whiteboard of like dudes and ladies with huge personalities that could infuse their team with swag. And we got them, Marshawn Lynch, Richard Sherman, Quavo, Renee Montgomery, WNBA superstar, TMZ star, like people that have huge personalities that could really help give their team that ethos, if you will.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's how it started. And that, that's a journey to today.
Going on your team owners there, you've got some monster hits there, especially Marshawn Lynch. I mean, that guy, if you want to talk about personality and someone that's going to bring flavor, I mean, he's got all the flavors of the rainbow coming with him with his Skittles.
Correct.
So, I mean, you've got
Skittles.
a home run team behind you as well. It's pretty incredible, pretty remarkable what you've done over this time.
Oh, thanks. And I think on both sides of the ball, we're really proud of the ownership group that we've got. Also, the team internally, we've got guys that have done it at every level, right? So guys that have done it like the IFL and the AFL. Andy Dolich is our COO. He was, president of the 49ers, president of the Memphis Grizzlies, like guys that have done it at every level. And so we're, incredibly excited about the team that we put together here. So.
Well, actually, that leads into our next subject here. Now, of course, the big name everybody wants to talk about is Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, of course, being part of this. But going through and just watching not only on Instagram, you have an array of talented guys that have been all over the spectrum. So talk a little bit about how Johnny came into the play here and how he came to eventually sign with you guys, and then kind of who else you have around that we would know.
So to figure out Johnny, you take a step back and think about the type of dude we want in this league.
Yeah.
So again, if you're rethinking football, you have an opportunity to cast, especially this football, one that's interactive, and the guys' numbers that are called by the fans are going to want to build a relationship with fans. So what we did was we took, training camp after training camp, combines. We took, the top 500 guys that can play at a really high level, guys that played on Saturday. Super high level football. And then we said, we actually took a casting agent and we met with all of them and we looked at their social. We're looking for guys that light up when the camera turns on, that they want to create content, that they want to engage with the audience, that have huge personalities or great stories, people that can build that community with the audience. And so I think you'll see the guys in this, the world's not ready for a lot of these guys, incredible, huge personalities. And we've got so much content around it. We've got 6 studio shows around the league. So you got a really good look at what life is like in the FCF bubble. But so every one of these guys is this huge, incredible story, a big personality. And Johnny fit that mold really well. He's friends with one of our owners, Bobby Menery, who's a friend of ours. He's been, he called, actually one of the first kind of professional things he did was he called one of our Screaming Eagles games. Longtime friend of one of my co-founders. And so Bobby, obviously big sports personality, made sense for him to be an owner. And as he's friends with Johnny. And so, when we met with Johnny, it was like, look, can Johnny be uncensored, right? Can he just be himself?
Yeah.
And yes, it's what we want. And so it was a really easy conversation for him. He's not looking for a path back to the NFL, but what he is looking for is a chance to play some football, have that competitive spirit, guys that can actually really play, and then be himself. Right. And so I think that's where that kind of came from was, via Bobby Menery and kind of how we've set up the league.
And somebody like Johnny Manziel, it's very important, like you said, for him to just be able to relax and play football. When
Sure.
did we see him at his best? In college, when he could be who Johnny Manziel was, just
Sure.
relax. He didn't have to have the pressure of having to carry a franchise or a city on his entire back and, have to be censored, be who they want him to be.
Yeah.
He's a special get here. But I like what you said that's super interesting to me is you said that, they have to be able to have a relationship with the fans or the fans have to be able to have a relationship with them. You're right on the money there in this. That is so important for what you're doing because listen, if I hate half the guys that are on a team, why am I going to tune in and want to work on this team or want to be a part of it? And that's interesting.
Well, so, and like, I think we want to redefine what it means to be a fan too, right? Because
Yeah,
that relationship is so critical because like you're determining their livelihood, right? You're
yeah.
drafting these people, you're cutting these people, you're calling their number. And
Wow.
it really hit home that like we have a chance to do that when, in the Screaming Eagles, we had Devin Mahina, big wide out, caught this amazing touchdown pass. And after the game, he's out on the field. We have fans meeting with the players. And this kid came up to him and he said, Devin. And, Devin got down on one knee. He's like, dude, I called that play. And Devin was like, man, thank you for calling my number. And I realized that
Wow.
kid lost his mind, ran screaming to his parents, like, I called this number. And we have a chance to change what that dynamic is because in this league, obviously players are going to make or break a team, but so
Yeah.
will fans, right? Fans have to put these guys in a position to be successful
Yeah.
and they need a relationship. And so I think what's really interesting about what we prove here is in 3 years, I think teams will be recruiting players and teams will be recruiting other fans, right? Because if you've been a play caller and you've been crushing it and you've been making good decisions and your fan
Interesting.
IQ and you level up,
Yeah.
you're going to be incredibly valuable to a franchise in a way that a player would be. So
Wow.
we're really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. That is the concept. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how awesome this is. We were just talking about it before the show started. It's literally like that ultimate mode in Madden where you literally are, you can speak with your buddies, you get to vote on plays together. Like it's basically bringing that to real life. And it's incredible that that's happening now.
We're really excited about it. I can't wait for the world to see what we've built.
Yeah, it is coming February 13th. Of course, we will make sure at the end of that you get everything you need to know so you can get involved. Now, this coming up season, like we talked about, February 13th, what are you looking forward to most? What has been the most fun in building this process? And what are you ready to see opening day?
I think that's a really good question. What am I excited about most? Like there is a magic, like, you talk about game development and like all of these AAA game developers, they build these huge games and these systems and these, textures and they like all come together and they have this, they have a saying that I find the fun, right?
Yeah.
You think about God of War for Sony Santa Monica, like all of these amazing systems and they kind of found how that game felt and was fun in the last couple of months before it shipped. And I think we're actually the other way. Like we know there is a special magic when you call a play and the receiver is going to curl and he curls and it's connected. Like you can't not get excited about it. And so
Yeah.
like, I can't wait for people to actually experience that. And especially when they've got that relationship with the player. So I'm excited about that. And I can't wait for fans to see the ways that you can interact with the league. So the camera is primarily a drone shot behind the quarterback. So it's going to feel like Madden, right? That league, that
Yeah.
view you're familiar with.
Yeah.
But we also have we have 4 180-degree cameras. So one on both end zone and one on each side. So right in Twitch, you can select those. So you can see
Oh, wow.
crazy shots. And in the mobile app, you'll be able to move them side to side. So you'll be able to see pan around. And then like we've got a helmet cam as well. So the state of the art, incredible first person perspective, really wide angle so you don't get sick, but you feel those hits. When we saw the testing, like when guys just get crushed, you
Yeah.
feel it. And it's going to be really cool. Whether you watch the game that way or not, like it's a great replay tool. Like
Yeah.
I just want to see this guy just get lit up or dive and catch it, whatever it ends up being. So excited about all of that.
The crazy part is you're the something I'm just thinking about now is when that play gets voted on, right? And this is something I'm curious about. So when the fans vote, that play is happening before they hike that football. So like that's even
Correct.
crazier is like, hey, I've got a guy doing a post, I've got a guy doing a comeback. Like what's happening before that play happens. I think that makes it even more exciting. It's like you have a little insight to what's going on.
Dude, totally. And when it happens, and it doesn't always happen the way, like it's not a video
Yeah.
game. Plays are broken all the time, but like there's something really cool about seeing it develop. And then you can see that moment where the play breaks. And so, and the thing about it too, which I'm super excited about is like, I think everybody gets concerned about like, I don't want to call bad plays and you can't in this league, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's algorithmically surfaced based on down and distance. No, they're always plays that we want to run. So you literally can't screw it up. Like, and I think it starts making football a lot more accessible to people who it might be really daunting to just like turn on the NFL. If you're just a gamer and you're not necessarily a football fan, I think we're going to be able to be a real entry level, a real onboarding for those people that might like Overwatch League, but not like traditional sports to really get involved in this.
The cool thing is too, is like when you bring fans into the mix, a lot of us, when we're sitting on our couch, I'm guilty of it too. I'm watching a game and I'm the first guy that's like, I can make that catch. I could do this. You're getting to see like, listen, it's not that easy. Things break up, things change on the fly. Like it's a lot more difficult than the average guy, the average gamer, whoever's sitting there watching it. Than we think about. And I think that's going to be really cool because that's going to be shown to the front a lot. Like the guys are going to get their respect that they deserve on how hard it really is to play at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I think again, you'll experience the game like you've never been able to before. So super excited for people to check it out.
I cannot be more excited. I know you've given me plenty of your time. We really do appreciate it. Guys, there's only one thing left to do, and you know what it is here. We roll out the red carpet. You tell us how we can be involved, where we can follow you on social media. I will make sure everything's tagged below so nobody's lost when they're trying to find it. But let us know how to be a part of the Fan Control Football League.
I love it, man. Thank you. So go to FCF.io. So Fan Control Football, FCF.io. Go register, pick a team. You've got this really diverse set of teams. The fans created all these logos. We've already gone through the logo and color process. Like I'm wearing a Wild Aces t-shirt, which is
I'm in love with the uniform. So
me too. All fan created. It's incredible. Yeah. So go to FCF.io. You can follow us on Twitter we're at FCFIO, and on Instagram we're FCFL. I'm at P to the D's, DEES. So follow me. I'm a big Twitter guy. So questions, comments, concerns, all that stuff. Hit me up. Let me know what you think of the league.
Well, Patrick, we appreciate you stopping by the locker room, and we will hope to be able to talk to you very soon. So excited for February 13th, guys. Got to check it out. Go follow this guy on his social media, stay up to date, and be a part of Fan Control Football League.
Thanks for having me.